Welcome back to the Silver Lining, where it's no filler, no fluff. We just keep it a buck. And today we're gonna be having a conversation about classic albums. There's been a lot of conversation right now about classic albums, so we're gonna chop it up about that because I think it's a lot of things that go into a classic. And I feel like a lot of these conversations, people are talking past each other because I don't know if they have the definition of a classic album of who they're debating. So let's see if we can narrow something down and talk about what is a classic album, and then we can kind of go from there. All right, so I got the crew with me in the building. Got Stan in the building. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, bro? Let's get to it. I actually like this topic. I don't do a whole lot of internet engagement because I think a lot of it's fucking stupid. But I actually heard about some discussion about this, so I don't really. But let's talk about it.
Yeah. All right, you
Yeah,
got
he
crew in the
ready. He
building.
ready.
You ready?
Stan ready. He is ready.
What's going
Um,
on, crew?
I'm happy to be here, bro. I got my tea, sipping a little something, something, man. Ready to get into it, bro. Let's talk classic music.
All right, man. So let's do it. So Stan's ready. So I'm gonna start with Stan, man. When you think about a classic album, like what do you think makes a classic? What makes a classic album to you?
I mean, first of all, this generation doesn't know what a fucking classic album is. First of all, they don't have no idea because most of the music that comes out over the last 5 years is more in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Classic album is something that I can play 10 years from now. So first of all, there is no such thing as a classic album that's been out for a month. There's no such thing as a classic album that's been out for a year. It usually takes 5 years, maybe a decade to really stamp an album as a classic because if you're not playing it after 5 or 10 years, it's not a classic. Um, to me, it's just it is a album that you can play from start to finish without skipping anything. If you choose to skip something, then you're choosing to skip, but there's no skips on a classic album. Maybe if you skip an interlude or a radio song or whatever, but no skips. You playing that shit right through, start to finish, playing it through. Which, like I said, it's very hard to distinguish that nowadays because music is so air fried now. Everything is just so instant in the moment, and based on the current trends, which current trends nowadays fade within like 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like shit just fades
Mm-hmm.
away. So it's not most hip hop albums that classic albums obviously came out during a particular era. So you're thinking about albums that came out between 89 and 94 or between 94 and 2003. There's not a whole lot of them that I can think of past that era. There's a few. Good Kid, Mad City comes to mind. Obviously, as something that a recent classic album, probably the last recent classic album to me. And it's
Mm-hmm.
probably a few more I have to think of. I don't know if you like, but like I said, some albums they're really, really good. You got some that are like really, really good, and then there's the classic tier. And it's very hard to get from the really, really good to the classic tier because sometimes you just miss on a song, you miss on a song, you put a song on there that shouldn't be on there. You put a collaborator that shouldn't be collaborating with you. It's hard to distinguish between. And again, I know a lot of people do the mic system. Some people do point system, whatever. I usually like mic systems because the source created, I think, the source created like the perfect,
Rubric.
yeah, for it's a good word. I don't, but if you don't for rating music, it's just the source themselves became corrupted by dudes and money, and then certain albums got stamped with labels they didn't really have. And that kind of ruined the mic system. The source themselves ruined their own mic system when shit like Made Men started getting 4.5 mics and shit that did not have the credibility was getting stamped with four
Mm-hmm.
mics and five. Yeah, so it's all subjective, like anything else. It's subjective. What could be a classic to you might not be shit to another person. But it's all about I'm playing this joint straight through. I can put it on in the background, listen to it straight through while I'm folding laundry or playing video games or whatever. You play it straight through. And I'm sure we're going to get into examples. The number one example for me is Life After Death. The essential classic rap hip hop album is Life After Death. I listen to it, obviously.
Okay.
I listen to it all the time. Listen to Biggie all the time. I always go down the Biggie rabbit hole around March 9th, since that's the anniversary of his passing. So you kind of, I go through the Biggie rabbit hole, start looking for rare shit that he did, interviews that he did. And Life After Death, I got played straight through. And I still play it straight through, no skips. And there are songs on there that 20 years ago I couldn't stand, that I didn't really care for, that I like now. Like Another with Lil' Kim. I used to hate that song. I think it's hilarious now.
I still hate that song.
Nah, it's a great song. It's just hilarious. It's a hilarious song. Listening to them two fucking bicker on a song is hilarious to me. But there's just songs on there that I didn't really care for when I was younger that now sound great. So again, that's what I'm saying. Like, classics also evolve in that, there may be songs on there you think, I don't need to listen to this, but now you're like, well, that's pretty good. But like that's the best example. Life After Death, Blueprint, Illmatic, Stillmatic, plenty of examples. And like I said, we're going to probably go through them, but the number one for me is Life After Death. That's the number one that comes to mind when I think essential classic album.
Okay.
Let y'all talk about it.
Stan, can I ask you a question though, Stan? Because
Yeah,
you said it needs to age 10 years. You don't believe in instant classics? Because
No.
when I heard Blueprint for the first time, I knew that I knew this was some shit that we weren't accustomed to. Like I knew that Jay-Z had took a giant leap over a bunch of motherfuckers, like just with that album alone. So you don't think Blueprint was like a instant classic?
Yeah.
Like it's a rare case.
I think that albums that do come out that can be stamped as instant classics, but to me, it has to age a little bit for me to officially stamp it as this is a classic album. But yeah, the instant classic, yeah, I mean, again, it's all subjective. So you could listen to Blueprint the first time and think this is a classic album, and it can age that way. Sure, I mean,
yeah, I think
you can definitely do.
Yeah, I think that you can hear it for the first time and know it's probably gonna be a classic, but I do think you do need to let it age a little bit, because I feel like the first time you heard Blueprint, you knew like, yo, this is amazing. This is something different.
Yeah,
you know what I
yo.
mean?
Yeah.
But in order for it to be stamped a classic, you have to see the impact of it, and hip hop's production changed after Blueprint altogether. That's what really stamps it as a classic, because to me, a classic album has got to have impact. It has to have influence, and I think that you can't see the impact influence until a little bit of time
later. And that's what I'm saying. Like, Life After Death, Blueprint, those albums literally altered the way people make music when they came out.
Yep.
Like the Blueprint is a perfect example of an album that altered the way people made music after it came out. After it not only altered the way music was made, hip hop was made, it blew up producers.
Yeah.
Like Kanye West became a household name at the Blueprint. He was everywhere after that, producing for a lot of different people after that album came out. So again, so that's another example of what classic albums are, is that they change the way niggas make music. And yeah, those albums are perfect examples of that, because when like After Death, everybody was doing the Midwest bounce song from Notorious Thugs. Like
Mhm.
damn near everybody tried to make those records. They
Yeah.
failed, of course, to make it on the level of Notorious Thugs. But yeah, that's an example of like after that album and niggas heard Notorious Thugs, everybody tried to do a Midwest flavored bounce record. Everybody tried it. Failed, of course, most of them, but they tried it. But that's an example of another example of that changing the way music it's made, changing how niggas was making records.
All right, Kirk, get in there.
I think when you talk about a classic, right? I think a classic is number one. We all, it's all subjective, but it's all around like the same nucleus era of what we think a classic should be. Yes, I do agree with Stan. It has to be a banger. It has to be able to be played all the way through. You know what I mean? No matter the genre, it has to be able to be. I don't care if it's gospel, bro. It has to be a joint that you could just play all the way through, no skips. Absolutely, okay. And I feel like the artist and the producer. This is the main thing that makes a classic. The artist and the producer. That's what makes the classic. Like I always say, like Pharrell is different from Pharrell with the Clips, right? Like when they come together, they do some whole nother other shit together. You get a different type of Pharrell. Like, so like you gotta have like Eminem and Dr. Dre. Like that, the artist production relationship is the most important thing. Eric B and Rakim. Like when you have that producer, DMX and Swiss Beats, when you have that producer that can, and if like if you like an artist to have multiple producers on your album, you don't have to have somebody just Kanye West your blueprint. But for those producers that you do choose, they have to suit you for what you do. And when you think about the classic albums, like Biggie, I'm glad you said Biggie. Like Biggie and Puff, they chose beats that it like Big's voice could echo on these beats. You know what I mean? Like to this day, if a nigga say it was all a dream, like that's one of those, and he did that to a juicy beat, nigga. Like you got one of the hardest gangster rappers, right? And one of the hardest lyricists on a candy ass beat. But the relationship between the like Big's voice on that alone, like when you hear his like that bravado voice he had over that beat, that makes a classic song, right? But now you got to do that throughout the duration of your album. Yes. I also believe you said it, you touched on it earlier, influence. When you look at Nas when Illmatic came out, like when you look at rap when it first came out, them niggas was you know what I mean? It was, but then Paid in Full drop, Rakim changed everything. You know what I mean? And now niggas is doing this, and then boom, Illmatic drop. Change everything. You see what I'm saying? Like that influence, yes, it does have to have an influence. And it does have to touch the culture. Doesn't matter if it's a country song, if it's a country album, I should say, rock and roll album, it has to touch the culture. Like, and I'm gonna be honest. This is the thing that a lot of people they try to sweep this under the rug when they talk about classic albums. Bro, you gotta be nice. Like I've heard I've heard people make songs like good songs, but their lyricism is below fucking average. And it's a good song, and it plays in the club, and they got a whole album of them. That is not, you have to be nice, nigga. Like, you gotta be nice, straight up. Like, if you're not nice, if you're not lyrically gifted, you cannot have a classic album. I don't care how many bangers you got on your album, bro. If you're not lit, you gotta be able to at least pass the bar. If you got good beats and good hooks, and you can pass the bar on each song, you good. You know a nigga that passes the bar and then sometimes goes further? T.I. When you hear T.I., a lot of his beats, a lot of his songs got banging beats, but he's passing the bar. He's getting the most out of every. And then you hear T.I. spit some shit and be like, whoa, where the fuck that come from? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you gotta be nice, bro. You cannot be lyrically handicapped and have a classic album, bro. I'm sorry, bro. You gotta be nice. It's a lot of niggas that got bangers all across their albums, but their lyrics is trash, bro. If you got trash bars, you cannot have a classic album. Straight up, dog. You gotta be nice. And that's the thing they try to sweep underneath of the rug so niggas like Gucci Mane can have classic albums. Because he got bangers all through. He got bangers all through, but the lyrical fortitude is not there. That they don't want to talk about actually being nice. You got to be nice. Along with the relationship between the producer and the artist, right? Along with the consistency through the album, and the album has to revolve around something. Like whatever the title is, you have to have a theme to go along with it. College Dropout is a great example of that. Like the whole album was about this man coming up after he failed in college. The Marshall Mathers LP, the whole album, this was Eminem's last time to get everything off his chest, bro. It was all about Marshall Mathers. Like this was the last time. Because I don't really recall him rapping about his family and his mother and all that a lot after that album. Maybe a song or two.
Yes, he did. Yeah. Eminem show right after that. Yeah, but keep going though. Keep going. I don't want to interrupt you.
Hold up. Which one had Cleaning Out My Closet?
That was Eminem show.
That's the Eminem show. Okay, I'm sorry. That's the album I'm talking about.
Okay.
Like, I don't recall him doing a lot about his family after that. So, but what I'm saying is all of that has to come into play to drop a classic album. And there are artists that still care about that. Like J. Cole cares about that. T.I., another artist, he cares about that. There are those that, even if he's not like T.I., I don't think he's like lyrically the best, but he cares about making good music. He cares about the quality. I'm not about to say he Andre 3000 or Nas, but he cares about the music. And I think and when you put all of that together, and I put that shit on my headphones, and I'm at working, and that shit banging in my ears, I believe it could be an instant classic. I don't really think like time. I don't want to put a time limit on something that I believe is a great work of art. Like if I walk in a museum and I see a portrait on the wall, I'm not going to care how long that portrait been there. You know what I'm saying? It's a great portrait and like instant classic. I think this is a instant classic right now. But a lot of the joints that we feel about that's instant classics do be the ones 10 years later that you can still listen to. You know what I mean? Like Blueprint. So yeah, that's what makes a classic though, man. All of that in one.
All right, so hear everything both of y'all just said, and I agree with a lot of what y'all said, but I do disagree with a couple of things. First one is for Stan. Life After Death is without question a classic album, but I'm sorry, I got skips on Life After Death. I got quite a few skips on. I'm not gonna say quite a few skips, but I do got some skips off Life After Death. All Eyes on Me. I think we all have to agree All Eyes on Me is a classic album, but man, you ain't gonna tell me you ain't skipping stuff off All Eyes on Me. Like, is that All Eyes on Me got some skips? So I don't agree that a classic album that
All Eyes on Me is the most overrated Tupac album that there is.
That's fair.
Like Strictly for My Niggas is his best album.
It is extremely overrated. And no, it's not Strictly for My Niggas either. It's Machiavelli. That's his best album.
No, I think it's Me Against the World.
Yo, that's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show.
Yeah,
that's a whole nother show. But
yeah.
Okay, but what we were just doing just now, as far as like that back and forth we just did, is a great exercise in what I'm talking about.
Right.
Now, I think there are different levels of classics. There's different levels to everything, right? But there's different levels of classic, right? I believe that when you talk about classic albums, a lot of them are not debatable, regardless of what you think of the music. It's actually not debatable.
Give me an example.
I actually agree with Stan. I know it's a separate thing, but I actually agree with Stan. I do find All Eyes on Me overrated. Separate show, but I do find it overrated. It's a classic album, though. Like, it's no debate about it. All Eyes on Me is a classic album. Okay, regardless of what I think about it, it's a classic album, bro. And Kurt, you said that you got to be lyrically nice. Like, you got to be nice lyrically. I don't believe that's true, because are we not going to say that Young Jeezy Thug Motivation 101 is not a classic album?
It's not.
There's no way, bro. That's a classic.
It's not.
Y'all, you tripping? Y'all tripping?
It's a terrible.
Reggie.
Come on, y'all tripping, bro. That's a classic album, bro.
Come on, Reggie.
Hold on. He's still performing the album today. He's gonna perform the album with the orchestra years later, and people are still vibing with it. People still play that album today. That is a classic album, yo. Like, there's no debate about it.
You know why he's still performing that album to this day? But it is the only album that he's actually known for.
But that's what I'm saying.
It's not. It is. Again, it's subjective, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you're wrong. I'm just going to tell you that I think the album is trash. But
that's okay.
I'm not going to say it's trash.
But
I'm not going to say that. But it's not a classic.
But what I'm saying, guys, is you should, even if you don't like an album, you still have to acknowledge its classicness in terms of the impact on the culture. I don't stamp a classic album. The culture stamps a classic album. Us collectively stamp a classic album. The culture stamped Thug Motivation 101 as a classic album. Y'all are tripping if y'all are saying no.
I couldn't name 5 songs off the album.
I can.
Right now, I cannot name 5 songs off that album.
Listen, they got bangers all through. Look, that's a great example. That's probably the greatest
nice
example.
Production, sure.
That's probably the greatest example of what I'm saying. A nigga got bangers. That whole album is bangers, but you gotta listen, Reggie. We gotta hold a standard, bro. Now, is it a hood classic? Yes. Like, in terms of like hood niggas and the hood shit, yes, but is it you mean to tell me you think, here we go, you think this album sits at the table with Paid in Full? With Illmatic?
No, bro.
Come on, bro. No, but you said classic. If it's a classic, it has to get in the building. Listen, it's a classic. Listen, Reggie, listen. Why we can't do that?
Because you know good and well that there's going to be different levels to classic. You know good and well that we're not putting this in the same conversation as Michael Jackson Thriller or Stevie Wonder Songs of the Key of Life. You know, there's levels to it, bro. No, it's levels to it. It's levels to it.
Yes, and you know what? It's called classic. And anything below that, it's just below that. If it can't sit at the table with Illmatic can sit at the table with Thriller. Miseducation of Lauryn Hill can sit at the table with Thriller. Because there are classics. Classics. It's no level to classic, Reggie. Classic is the last level. It's like S tier.
Okay.
It's the last level, right?
I don't want to belabor this point because I know it's different albums we want to get to, but Young Jeezy's Thug Motivation 101 was everywhere when it came out. It was stamped as a classic by the culture. It had impact. It had influence. Like, this might sound goofy to y'all, and that's fine if it sounds goofy to y'all. The whole thing with the ad-libs that Jeezy was doing, yeah, that's right. That put a spotlight on ad-libs. So when you, as hip hop moved forward, you saw way more people doing ad-libs. You look at like the Migos today that do the ad-libs. That shit, I'm not gonna say Young Jeezy was the first person to do ad-libs,
but he was a part of it. He was definitely
made
a part of it.
to the forefront. So,
Reggie,
bro,
but
so
he's
we got
not.
the impact,
He
we
did
got the
everything.
influence.
He got everything, but he not nice. He got everything but the bars to back it up. Reggie, I'm not disagreeing with you. I know how influential it was. I know how much the hood did it. I know about how hard the beats was. I know that he had good hooks and good songs, but he don't have the bars to back it up, Reggie. I'm sorry. You gotta hold that standard, yo. You gotta hold that standard, bro. I'm sorry,
Like I
Reggie.
say, it's a subjective thing. And again, albums can also remind you of certain periods of your life and make you feel certain things. Again, it's about feels as well. What it makes you feel. So again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Reggie is wrong for that. And anybody else that says that, I'm not going to say that. I'm telling you, I think the album is trash, and it's not a classic for me. But I'm not sitting here saying that you're wrong. That you're wrong for saying it, because again, albums are subjective. You might think when you listen to Thug Motivation 101, it might remind you of a great time in your life.
It does.
And it might remind you of a good period of your life. It might remind you of something nice, a good period of your life. So to you, it might be a classic album for your rotation of music. And again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you're wrong. I'm just telling you, from me in perspective, I couldn't name 5 songs off the album because it wasn't that good. I thought it was overrated in the moment, and I wasn't a fan of it. But I can see people saying that because of the time that it came out, during a period, just a particular period in hip hop when it came out. Wasn't a very good period of hip hop, quite frankly. But I understand that during that time, it might have been stamped that way. I don't know if people stamp it that way now.
Crazy. Yes, people stamp it that way.
Back then, I could see people stamping it as something of a hood classic. And again, I don't get into hood. I don't get into subgenres of classic bullshit like that. But again, it's like, if that album reminds you of a good period of your life and something you can play straight through, then that's a classic to you.
I think it's a good. I think it's a good piece of work. It's just not classic. Like, it could be in the tier below classic. It's not. He don't have the bars to back it up, dog. I'm sorry, Reggie. He don't. He don't. He don't.
This is where I feel like we're like, because to me, a classic album doesn't have to be an album that I think is amazing. I know a classic when I know the impact of the classic. So I tell you,
perception wise,
yeah, that album is a classic. So I'll tell you another one. Beyonce, Lemonade. I heard the album. I thought it was an okay album. It's a classic album. Is there a debate? That's a classic album. Lemonade's a classic.
But hold up. Lemonade was hard, bro. What are you talking about?
Okay. It was all right. I thought it was all right. I know it's a classic though. That's what I'm saying.
Yo, Lemonade was hard, yo.
You could argue. You could argue that, yeah, because of the impact the album had. You can argue that, but
like I said, if you want to go by perception, yes.
Okay.
Like you say, the hood stamped it as a classic. I get it. The culture stamped it as a classic.
Yeah.
So you gotta respect the culture. So it's a classic. Okay, I'm cool with that. But what I'm saying, me personally, as a like consumer of hip hop,
right?
It's a pretty good piece of work, but it's not classic.
Okay, hold on. All right, 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying. Is it a classic?
Yes. He met the bar.
Look at Stan.
Was he Nas?
Look, Stan says no.
But he rose to the bar. He rose to the standard. He at least rose to the standard. He at least had a flow. Like, he at least made sense. He at least all that Jeezy shit is just talking about drugs. Like 50 Cent actually composed an album.
Come on, yo. Stan said no.
I can see why he said that. And again, it's another example of an album that I think represents a period of time in hip hop. So I understand why someone would say that. Again, for me personally, If I'm putting on some joints, if I want to put an album on to do some stuff, I'm not putting that album on. It does not age well for me.
It
That's
doesn't
just
though.
me.
It really doesn't.
That's just me. It doesn't age well. In the moment, it was played everywhere. We all listened to it. I listened to it a bunch of times trying to figure out why people thought this shit was good. And it just it never clicked with me. It just didn't. It didn't compute with me. But I understand why people said it at the time because it was everywhere. It was one of those, it was an event album because everybody wanted it. You couldn't find it when it first came out. It was literally sold out in most places. The idea of an album being sold out now seems fucking bonkers now. But back then, it was sold out. Because I remember looking for it.
Yep.
And not being able to find it for a few days when it dropped. That is unheard of now. Obviously, because of the way music is now consumed and distributed now. But so the idea of an album being sold out and now sounds fucking lunacy. But back then, it was hard to find it. So I understand why Reggie says that. And I'm not going to argue people to say you're wrong. I'm just going to say, for me, the album didn't age very well. Like if I try to listen to it now, I'm like, what the fuck is again, lyrically, he's not the strongest guy. So you're basing on production to carry your again, that's why Jeezy's album is considered that by so many people because the production on the album carries it. Because he is not a very good rapper. If someone says a Gucci Mane album is a classic album, that's an example of someone being caught up in production because Gucci Mane is one of the worst MCs in the history of this industry. But people are going to sit there and say it's a classic because they're carried by his production. I personally think his music is garbage juice. It's garbage juice to me. But again, subjective. But no, I would never put shit like that in the same room as Life After Death or Blueprint or Illmatic. I'm not putting no motherfucking Get Rich Die Trying in that same category. I'm not doing it. But I could see why people would do it based on that album came out at a weird special time for hip hop, and it was an event album. And we don't get those many events type albums, and definitely now. Like the only person I can think of now where it would be an event is Jay-Z. If Jay-Z dropped an album, which I have a sinking feeling he is this year. But that's the impact an artist makes on the culture, how big an artist is. It's subjective, like I said. I'm gonna keep saying it.
The quality of the album.
I can accept that though. I can accept that. Like the hood, like the culture, like jump on it so bad that it has to be a classic, no matter what I feel lyrically. You know what I mean? Like it has to be a classic because the culture jumped on it and the culture stamped it. That's fair.
Yeah, to me, the culture.
50 spit way better than Jeezy, dog. Come on, dog. Not saying 50 is Nas, but he spit way better than Jeezy, yo. Come on,
I think 50's in the same lyrical plane as Jeezy and Gucci Mane and 50's other ones. He's just not a very good rapper.
He better than Gucci Mane, Stan. That's a bit ridiculous.
Come on, man.
But I do feel like okay. So to me, there's a musical masterpiece, and there's an impact classic, and then there's those really rare ones that get both of those. But I feel like all of them are classic, though. You feel what I'm saying? Like
I see what you're saying. Because it's not like a different level, but it's like a different type of classic.
It's a different type of classic. But I just got a hard time with somebody saying that Thug Motivation is 101 is a classic, and then a nigga saying Paid in Full is a classic. I have a problem with that, yo. I have a problem. I'm sorry. They both classics, man. They both classics. You know, because I feel like the impact classics to me should not be debatable. You can't really debate it. Like okay, let's talk about another one. The Lil Wayne, the Carter 3. There's no way in the world you're gonna tell me that's not a classic album. There's no way.
Bro, that's probably is that the Please Don't Shoot Me Down? That album?
That's on there.
Bro,
No, that's
I
Carter
think
2.
that's his
Carter
best
2,
that's his most well-rounded album.
the Carter
That's his
2 is
most
a classic.
well-rounded album in terms of outside of pussy and drugs and like he did a lot of different things in that album. I think that's his most. I'm not saying it's his best, but it's
Right.
his most
See, and that's the
well-rounded
key.
album.
And that is the key because Stan's gonna say Carter 2 is his classic. Carter 2 is it might be a better album, but Carter 3 is the classic.
It's a light years better album than Carter 3.
I
Like,
don't
that's
know
not even like
Light
debate.
Years.
Yeah, it is. Light years. But Carter 2 is way better than Carter 3 is an average album. But
is
he
it,
had
is
Nah,
it a classic, Stan?
it's an
nah,
average.
man. Average.
Carter 3 is an average
Carter
album.
3.
Wow.
That's
Average.
crazy, dog.
It's an
That
average
is
album.
crazy.
Slightly above average. I'll give him that.
But is it a classic though, Stan? That's what I'm saying. Is
Nah,
Carter
no, it's
3 a
not.
classic? It's not a
Nah.
classic. All right, bro. Like we
No.
all right, Joe.
No. Carter
Okay.
2, yes. Carter 3, no.
Okay. I just so y'all are not gonna like go to the. I think I'm running you over, Kurt, but it seems like Stan, like you don't see how an album gets stamped by the culture and crowned a classic. For you, it's still gonna come down to do I think it's good? Is that kind of where we're at?
For me, yeah. I'm just gonna be honest with you. For me,
No, I'm
for
with
me,
that. I feel like that too.
yeah.
Yeah,
For
But I'll
me,
accept
it's
that.
about.
Stan is not.
I
though.
can
Stan's not with-
understand. No, for me, I can understand if the culture stamps it as a classic. The culture also has brought people that shouldn't be in our culture into it. So I can respect that. I can respect that the culture,
I respect
the
that
overall
too.
hip hop culture can say that album's a classic. I'm just going to say you can feel that way, and that's your opinion. But for me, it's not. Again, it's subjective. I understand that you think that the culture stamped the Jeezy album classic, or Get Rich or Die Trying, or Carter 3. I get it. For me, the album has to be good too. It has to be good. You know what I'm saying? Because I have to play it start to finish, and I have to play it and be like, that's a banger. That's a banger. That's dope. That's it. That shit. That's the shit. That's this. That's this. And if I'm listening to a song where he's rapping about aliens, I'm like, that's not. Nah. It's all about, again. It has to be good to me as well. It has to be good. It has to be something that I want to listen to. It has to be an album that I can play right now and be like, yeah, that's still dope. 20 years later, that's still dope. You know. The Eminem Show is a better album than the Marshall Mathers LP.
It is.
But I think most people would consider Marshall Mathers LP to be his classic album.
Exactly.
And I would probably lean towards that, but I would probably stamp Eminem Show more so for that. For me.
But what if
As
they
a
both?
classic.
But what if? I'm not saying this is the case, but what if you could classify them both as classics? Like to me,
both classics.
They're both classics, but I'm saying
that's what I'm saying.
the
It's
one
better
that's
than the other.
stamped as Eminem's classic is the Marshall Mathers LP. Even though
Oh, yeah,
Eminem
yeah,
was a
yeah,
better
yeah,
album. That's
yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I mean, and you can say that. Like I said, it's all. Yeah, the culture will stamp albums as albums you got to listen to if you want to be a hip hop head. That I can understand, and it's up to you to determine when you listen to it. Okay, this is what I think about it. That's what I think we need more of is individual thinking. It's too much groupthink bullshit out here nowadays, where people are just saying, "You gotta say this, you gotta believe in this, and you gotta say this is a classic." Nah. Again, the culture can stamp albums as a classic all they want. The culture also allowed people like Sexy Red into it, so it's a matter of you said they taking it and listening to it and then forming your own opinion about it and going from there.
Of course.
It's just a lot of, like I said, it can go in different ways, and it's all about your personal taste as well. But yeah, there are albums that the culture says you got to listen to be a part of it. You have to listen to understand the history of the culture. That I agree. I will agree with that. I will give you that.
Yeah.
And I would say that Get Rich or Die Trying and Thug Motivation 101 are albums that probably fall in that category as albums that you have. Again, if there was a fucking time capsule from 2002, 2003, 2004, Get Rich or Die Trying would be in that time capsule of, you gotta listen to this. and you listen to it and you realize, yeah, this guy wasn't that good. He relied a lot on hooks and Dr. Dre's production and Eminem's influence to,
Hey, look, that's fair. That's fair. Look, I'm fine with you saying that you don't rock an album like that, but I'm just saying you got to crown it as a classic. One of the things that was also brought up was Drake, because Ebro said that Drake does not have a classic album. Stan, what do you think about that?
100% agree. Drake does not have a classic album.
True.
He just does it. He just does it, bro. He just does it. Again, when I talk about overrated niggas, the Drake comes right up to the top of that. You can go overrated artists. Look up in the dictionary. You picture fucking Drake sitting there looking at you. He's overrated, and how good people say he is. What the general masses say he is, and what he really is, he's not that good. He's influenced by a lot of dudes that came before him. He tries to be like a lot of dudes. He tries to be like this dude, that dude, this dude, do this, make music for certain artists and certain audiences. That just ain't me. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you he's a trash rapper. I'm not gonna sit here and say that at all. I'm not gonna say that some of his albums aren't good.
You called him overrated, bro.
But he's highly overrated based on what people talk about him. When people say he's this dude, Drake is a generational. Drake is not a generational rapper. He may be a generational rapper for this generation of mediocrity. I'll give you that if that's what you think. But for me, comparing him to niggas from like Tupac and niggas like Jay-Z and Nas and Biggie and niggas like that, he ain't sitting at that table. He's sitting at a table by himself.
I agree. He's a tier underneath of that. Yes, I agree. He's a tier right underneath of that. Yes.
He is not in that category. He is in his own category of, if you want to talk about the big three with him, Kendrick, and Cole, he's like, I guess he can sit at the table with them niggas, but I personally think Cole is on a little bit higher level as him in terms of his ability to make music that appeals to me.
Cole is with Nas in them lyrically. Cole is with Nas.
Cole can sit at the table with those niggas. Drake cannot.
No, he can't. But his table ain't that far away from theirs, though.
No, it's not.
They in the same building.
Again, he's got hit records, I guess. He's got hit records. He's got dope records. He's had influence definitely on the culture. I'm not gonna say and tell you it's not. He's had a really huge influence on rap from 2012 on. His influence is undeniable. I personally think he's overrated, but that's me. And again, I'm not saying this stuff for engagement and clicks and all that horse shit. I personally do not think he's as good as people make him out to be. That's just me.
Kurt, what do you think about what Stan
said? I'm speechless, dog. Like I'm really speechless, bro. I don't know what to say.
Well, go ahead.
I don't think we talk about the same Drake. I just don't think we talking about the same Drake, bro. For real.
I'm talking about the same light-skinned nigga that just got his ass whooped by Kendrick Lamar. That's what I'm talking about.
He lost the battle. He lost the battle. So did Jay-Z. So like that, losing the battle don't take away from your artistry if you're a dope artist. A dope artist gonna be a dope artist regardless.
Name his classic album then. Name it.
Take Care. Listen, let me break it down. Does Drake have a classic rap hip hop album? No, he doesn't. He does not have a class because he's beyond rap and hip hop. You're not gonna get a nigga rhyming 85 to 95% of the album and dropping hooks here and there. You're gonna get those songs that he be singing, bro. Those are nighttime songs with your girl, bro. Take Care is a Views is. Bro, Views, I'm not gonna say it's classic, but goddamn, like, bro, Take Care. What's the one?
Nothing was the same. Nothing was the same.
Nothing was. Which one is that? What's the one with
This is the fact that you can't name off the top of your head tells me that I'm
because I'm trying to figure. No, it's not.
Can't name his album.
Because I'm trying to figure out the album. The nigga got so many albums. I'm trying to figure out the song that the album is on directly.
Again, if a nigga says to me, "What's your classic album?" I'm saying Blueprint. Black Album, Reasonable
I
Doubt.
said take
He's
care.
asking that. I'm saying it off the top. The fact that you can't even say off the top of your head what his classic album is tells me all I
No,
need to.
I said take care. I said take care.
Well, I can tell
Take
you,
care is his best album.
Take Care is a classic, dog. Like Take Care is first of all, the impact and the influence of this album cannot. I mean, like, bro, like that shit changed the way rap music started being made. It made rappers well, that's fine, but it changed. if you didn't have some sort of melodic aspect to your music, you started to sound outdated. That's just the facts, bro. That is just the facts.
When you ever know Fab to go, you be killing them, you be killing, like Fab singing, dog. The man had Fab singing, dog. Trying to be like him, dog. Come on, bro.
And it's
like all the niggas was trying to be him, dog. Let's not deny that.
I'll give you that point. I will give you that point. He's, like I said, he's very influential on the way dudes was making music at that time. And that melodic bullshit that you're talking about, yeah, it became one of those that you gotta have one of those records. You gotta have some melodic tones on your album. I'm not going to deny that at all. That's why I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Drake is not influential, not doesn't deserve to sit at certain tables. I'm saying that for me, when it comes to lyrical ability and impact songs for me, he doesn't sit at the tables. That's just me. And that's what I'm saying. Like, people got mad because Ebru said that. Ebru said that because from his perspective, from a guy that was around the classic era of rap, this guy it doesn't hold up. And I think that is a problem. I don't want to say it's a problem for a lot of guys, like people like that, and me personally. But it does play a role into, I come from the era of niggas dropping classes all the time, and this nigga is not at that level. And I think that when you start comparing Drake to those people, it doesn't stand up to me. But I'm not going to sit here and deny his influence and his impact on the culture, because he did have it. He is one of the most impactful, influential rappers of that era. So is Nicki Minaj. I'm not going to sit here and deny their impact and their influence. I'm just saying the albums weren't, that the music they were putting out, to me, didn't hit me like that, like a Blueprint, type of album or that type of artist.
Blueprint was different though. That shit crazy. That shit crazy.
And you gotta understand is that, like, when the Blueprint came out, we were very much in the culture at that point. Like, as time goes on, you get old, you start to kind of fade away. You're still in it, but not quite the same. So that there's that too. But I feel like for the people who were still knee deep in the culture at that moment, ain't no way in the world Take Care ain't a classic, bro.
It's not possible.
It's no way in the world, Stan.
It's not, yo. It's not, yo. And I'm talking, and I'm not even talking from I'm gonna be honest, I'm not even talking from a cultural impact and none of that. I'm talking quality of music, top to bottom, bro. Yeah. Like banger after banger. Like I don't mind, like, you only play Drake when you with a girl or something, right?
Nah, that's not true.
Like, I'm saying, like, for the most part,
why would I play a rapper like Drake when I'm trying to get with a woman?
You ever heard Marvin's Room?
Yeah, he was like, I'm just saying you can do better.
You never heard Marvin's Room, dog. Like, you gotta listen, bro. That man, listen. That man Drake get to sing in panties, just all of a sudden end up on dresses and all that shit, dog. Like, what I'm saying is,
great. Women like to fuck the Drake.
You can't compare, like, and to see, the thing is, you're comparing Drake the rapper to rap album, but you have to, I'm not comparing, and I'm not saying it's as good as this album, but you have to judge Take Care the same way you judge Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, because it's more than a rap album.
I agree.
So if you're going to compare it to Illmatic, if you're going to compare it to, like, one of my favorite albums, Paid in Full, like, you have it in the wrong category.
Yep, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? It has to be in that lone category that Lauryn Hill was in for the longest. That Take Care shit is cut from that cloth.
1, so
so if you're going into Drake expecting to hear a rap album from top to bottom, then you're gonna skip half of the album.
Mm-hmm.
So of
100%.
course it's not gonna be a classic. If you so he'll probably never have a classic rap hip hop album because that's not what he do. He's more than that. So and for you to say, for Ebro to say that this man has never constructed, this shit is Take Care is a musical masterpiece. It's not just a classic. It, like Reggie said, that shit it got both the impact and the masterpiece. You say that rare, that's Take Care, bro. So if like I don't know what niggas be listening to, dog. And then you call this man overrated, Stan. That's crazy. He is that. He is the cream of the crop of his era. He really is that.
Says a lot about the era, then. That's
bro,
all I can say. Again, it just
crazy,
again,
bro.
I know a lot of times I sound like the old man at Cloud. I don't give a fuck what I sound like. It's just my opinion. Again, I don't really give a shit. It just I don't like Drake. Sorry. I'm not a huge fan. I can listen to his shit and be like, that's dope, that's cool, it's all right, that's straight. I thought it was the last time we put out was absolute horse shit.
What was his last one?
Whatever that party next door bullshit. Whatever
we ain't talking about that.
Whatever that was.
Yeah,
it was awful.
It was what it was.
Awful.
But
and again, not for me. Again, not for me. Again, I'm not a 15-year-old white girl. It's not for me. Sorry. I'm not gonna sit here.
That's crazy.
This is not for me, bro. I don't. It's not for me.
That's
so
crazy.
I can't sit here and be like, oh, Take Care is a classic album. Take Care is all right. I mean, it was cool. I mean, for what it was.
I think we should listen to it.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
bro, look at that. He's mad. No, don't do that.
Because they
I haven't listened to it. I haven't listened to Take Care in years. So I could, I haven't listened to it in years.
That's a classic album.
I can't imagine my opinion of it being that much different if I listen to it now.
I will say this. I don't think that Take Care is a no skip album. There's some songs I don't really rock with on there, but Stan, like Over My Dead Body, bro, Headlines, Crew Love,
Lord Knows.
Which one?
Lord Knows on there too,
Lord
right?
Knows. Underground Kings is on there. Like, come on, Stan.
Ain't Hell Yeah.
The one with
Hell Yeah fucking right. Ain't Hell Yeah fucking right.
Yeah.
Like, bro, what are we talking about here, bro?
Yeah. But nah, bro. Like, come on. That album is definitely a classic. I think Nothing Was the Same is as well. I think Nothing Was the Same actually has some of the best songs of his career on there, But yeah, I think those are his classics. I don't know if he has any more other than that, but I think those two are the ones that were stamped. I think the culture stamped those as classics.
Bro, I mean, it's a lot of people. Like, it's like Drake is like Nas to his fans. Like, we all know that Illmatic is the one, but we all got our favorite albums. Like, yours is Lost Tapes, mine's is It Was Written. You know what I mean? But we both know that Illmatic is the one. Yep. For Drake fans, like, they might switch it up and say this one or that one, but they all know that Take Care is Take Care is the one, dog. They all know. Now, a Drake fan might tell you Views is their second favorite album. You know what I mean? But
I gotta revisit that album. I remember listening to it, wasn't that big on it. I gotta revisit it because I wasn't.
Views is terrible. It's too fucking long. It's too fucking long. There's like 20-something, 23, 24 songs. It's too fucking long. I can't listen to Drake. It's good music, bro. It's hard.
But to say he ain't got a classic, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, again, maybe like you said, he's talking about he don't have like a pure hip hop classic, but in that case, Lauryn Hill's like Miseducation of Lauryn Hill wouldn't be a classic to him either because it's not a hip hop album completely. You know,
it's a hip hop album. It's just it's a bunch of different genres on it, but it's mostly a hip hop album. And again, that's another thing that irritates the fuck out of me when people talk about that album.
Bro, she's singing her ass off on that album, dog. She's singing her ass off on that album, Stan. Stop it, bro.
No, Miseducation is one of the greatest albums of all time. From whatever genre you are put into, it's a fantastic album from top to bottom. Yes, I think it's mostly hip hop and R&B, but again,
you said it in R&B. It's hip hop and R&B.
That's Drake.
That's the thing. So,
That's
so,
great.
Do not
so
put
it's
Drake and Lauryn
hypocritical.
Hill in the same category, bro. Don't do that.
Bro, see, we're not
The
saying he's
caliber
a
of
better
artist.
artist than her, Stan. We're not saying that Take Care is remotely close to Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Like, that has to be top 5 album of all time on everybody's list. But
I don't know about
we're
that.
saying you have to judge the music the same way. You know what I mean? You got it. You can't judge Drake's album like it's dark and hell is hot, bro. You just can't. Like it's two different genres of albums. Like you have to judge it the same way you judge a Missy Elliott album. Because you know she gonna rap and you know she gonna sing. You have to judge it like that. That's what we're saying.
Yeah,
That's
so
fine. I can judge it like that and still say I don't think the music's very good. But however way you want to judge
That's
it,
fair. I got no
however
problem.
way you want to judge it is fine. But I just don't think the music's that good. I don't think he's that good. It doesn't appeal to me. Again, y'all like
Okay.
to fucking Take Care, cool. That's your business. You want to fuck to that album, that's fine. I just not for me. Just not. Sorry.
Okay, that's fair. There was also another conversation about who are some of the best rappers who don't have a classic album.
I
And,
said, boy, that's about to hurt. It's
And
about to hurt.
Jadakiss was
Jadakiss,
the
man.
highest name on the list.
Yeah, bro, that's my favorite rapper of all time, but he always got 2 or 3 skips on it, and they be bad skips too, bro. He always
I got a laundry list of rappers that don't have classics. There's a laundry list of that.
Oh,
Jadakiss, LL Cool J, Method Man.
Whoa. Stop me right there, bro. Like, I don't know about like I'm not the biggest fan of LL Cool J as far as like albums, but LL Cool J got albums that the culture absolutely stamped as classic, bro. Like you can't do that, Stan.
He probably got more than one.
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
LL Cool J has classic songs. He's got classic records. He's got that in spades. But as far as an album, top to bottom, no,
like that GOAT album was trash. Top to bottom.
It was horrible.
The GOAT album was horrible.
But
Mr. Smith, horrible.
It was
8 Shots to the Dome, horrible.
Bad.
He's got bad albums,
That
bro.
was
So
bad too.
but at the end of the day, he has classic records. Busta Rhymes has classic records, no classic albums.
No, that's not true. That's not true. Extinction Level Event. Bro, Extinction Level Event was hard. The one with B More, DC, VA, rah. Extinction Level Event, that was classic, dog.
It's a good album. That's it. It's a good album. It's a good album. That's it. It's a nice album. That's it. Like I said, I got Jadakiss. Jadakiss is number one, a bullet on that list of a guy that's always around the culture and talked about in the culture. No classic albums.
Method Man.
Method Man don't either.
Yeah, he don't have no.
Method Man, you could argue the first album, but
the cow, yeah,
the cow, but it was okay.
Okay,
again,
what I say though.
Records. He's got classic records. Bring the Pain, classic record. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, he might not have a classic because that's my favorite rap. I got to give my man his love. He might not have a classic album as a solo artist, but We Are the Streets is a classic, dog.
Yeah, probably.
We Are the Streets is another album that gets talked about a lot glowingly than what it actually was when it came out at the time.
Whipping, Stan.
Again, if it appeals to you, fine. But the album when it came out,
when it first came out,
when that album came out, niggas was talking like that was the holy trinity of rap. But I'm just like, nah, bro, it's an okay album. That's it. They got a lot of Swiss Beats production on there and all that stuff. It's a good album that if I listen to right now, I'm skipping probably half of it. If I listen to it now,
no, you're not, bro.
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't listened to that album in a very long time. So
let's listen to that one. Let's listen to We Are the Streets.
Yeah, we could. I remember the impact of it. So, but
that shit's still hard.
It definitely had impact when it came out. Like I said, niggas was when Jadakiss had blood pressure. Niggas thought he was the next king of New York when that came out, and then his solo albums came out. Not so much. Just not there, bro. But there's a lot of rappers. You can really think of that if you go through their catalog.
Ludacris.
Ludacris. I mean, T.I. and Yeah, I love those dudes. Love
Yo,
no classic album.
Ti came so close with Trouble Man, bro. He came this close to a classic album, bro. I really love Trouble Man.
Trouble Man was a good album. Again,
Oh,
classic. Nope.
Paper Trail was good too.
Paper Trail was
Yeah,
good.
he makes great
Classic.
music,
Nope.
bro.
Yeah.
He makes, but I don't think he's had a classic.
Again, a great rapper, just not at that level. A great rapper in his own right, but not at that level. We the Streets is probably the number one example of an album that niggas gassed up like it was the fucking whole
But it is
Bible
that
rap.
though,
man.
Stan. It
was
is that
not.
though.
That's like the number one album from that era that niggas. I mean, you would have thought that was the Bible, bro. Like it was like
Yo, it was at that time, dog.
it was the
Niggas was
Bible,
spitting that
man.
real
It was
shit.
like it's all right, man. There's a bunch
I
of dudes
pack a
talking about
4-5,
killing
smoke a
people
blunt and get high.
out.
I don't give a fuck if I die because my son is alive. Growing up doing dumb shit that made me wise. Come on, all right, bro.
You know the bars.
Right.
But
Yeah,
I
that's
do,
what I'm saying. They
but I
got
do-
bars all through that, bro.
but I guess the question is like, does it
You
still
have to
hold?
listen.
I haven't
Go listen to it now. Go listen to it
long.
now with them awful Swiss Beats tracks on there and tell me it was that.
Man, them shit's hard, nigga. Them shit's hard, Stan. Hey, yo, does Cam have a classic album?
I listened to parts of the album recently.
Does Cam have a classic album?
Who?
Cameron?
Cam. Yeah.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm sure that niggas might say Purple Haze is a classic. That's another one.
But that was a compilation. That wasn't just, you know what I mean?
There was no compilation out. There was a Cameron album. It was too fucking long and it wasn't good. He is an average.
I'm thinking about Killer Season. Killer Season. Come Home With Me was all right, though.
It was all right. That's it.
Yeah. But again, it's an album I haven't listened to in a very long time.
Cameron's another one. No classic album. You know, and not for him trying, but he didn't have one.
Does Game have a classic album, Stan? I'm just asking.
Nope.
Stan, come on, Stan. The documentary is a classic, dog. You can't be serious.
Good albums, absolutely. Good albums, absolutely. Classic albums, arguable. The documentaries.
I think he got more than one classic, dog. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I think he got albums better than the documentary, but the documentary.
He definitely has albums better than the documentary. Dr. Zachary was better than that, you know. You know, he's got better albums. He's got great albums in his catalog. Don't get me twisted. He's got great albums. But again, classic.
You know, it's funny, man. We are an hour in, and I still think that a lot of times we're talking past each other on the term classic because, like, I'm still saying that, like, if the culture stamps it, then it's a classic, no matter what you think about it musically. So, like, the documentary, like, that was the album that brought the West Coast back. Like, the West Coast really wasn't popping at that time. The documentary comes out, and the West Coast starts to bubble again. And then later on, of course, you start getting guys. You start getting your Kendricks. The first time I heard Kendrick was on the Game album, on the Red album. That's the first time I heard Kendrick. The first time I heard Tyler, the Creator, was also on the Red album. So, but that started with the documentary, though. Like, it's got to be a classic, Stan. Like,
yo, it's a classic, Stan. What about my man Prodigy? Did y'all think HNIC is a classic album?
Nope.
Prodigy? Nah, it was dope, but nah, I wouldn't say it's a classic.
Good album, but it was a good album, but it was no different than most of the '90s, late '90s, 2000 New York rap. It was, you know, it was good though. But
like the
classic,
Mobb Deep, the Infamous is a classic, but I think Hell on Earth is better.
Hell on Earth is a classic too, bro.
Yeah, but I think Hell on Earth is better. But I think if you ask most people, the Infamous is Mobb Deep's classic, but I think Hell on Earth is better. You know what I'm saying? So that's
it's also, again, some people might say Murder Music. You know, I wouldn't say Murder Music over the Infamous.
Murder Music was hard. Yo. Oh my God, Murder Music.
Like, okay, Outkast. Like, I think both of us, I'm gonna assume all of us would agree that AT-Aliens and Aquemini are better than
that Love Below shit. Oh,
but it's better. I'm talking about Stankonia. Stankonia is dope, but AT-Aliens and Aquemini are better than Stankonia. But Stankonia is
AT-Aliens for sure. AT-Aliens for sure.
Yeah,
ATLiens and
I see
Equipment are a
what
classic album.
happened. You know, you got conversations like this make a nigga want to listen to music, yo.
it does. That's why I like having these conversations. But you hold on, Stan.
ATLiens is a classic album. Equipment is a classic album. Stankonia is just a really good album.
Oh my God, Stan.
What?
Stankonia is a classic. You don't think Stankonia is a classic? Even if, again, I'm not saying that it's better than the other two.
Stan is tough today,
it's not
bro.
better, but Stan, the album literally had
Again, my definition of a classic album
Tough
is
today,
different.
Stan.
It's just different. It's different. I would probably say Stankonia is probably a classic.
It's a classic. It's not
from
better
the
than
timing, from when it came out. Yeah, I can listen to it today straight through. I think I listened to it recently straight through.
Stankonia is a really good
I'll give you that one. I'll give you Stankonia, but ATLiens and Equimini
for sure. I think Stankonia. I don't know.
But even if but again, I'm not saying like I skip songs off of Stankonia. I'm not saying Stankonia is a perfect album, but bro, like that is a masterpiece in terms of the time period. Like that is a impact classic, bro. Like every single single they put out blew up. Like Bonds with Baghdad, Miss Jackson, So Fresh and So Clean. Those are the singles. What are we talking about? Miss Jackson. Those are the singles, bro. Like
yeah, that's crazy.
Like, come on, I'll give you Stankonia. I'll give you that. Yeah.
Yes, it has to be a classic.
You know, I'll give you that one.
Stan tough today,
tough, bro. Stan is tough, man.
Because my definition of a classic is different than y'all niggas. That's what it is.
No, I had the same. To a certain degree, Stan, I'm more on your side than I am with Reggie in that.
It has to be good.
You know what I mean? It has to be good. I do feel like
album that everybody played. It can't just be an album everybody played. It has to be good too. There's plenty of albums that everybody played.
See, I don't think it has to be good. I can recognize something that has an impact and has a classic impact without me enjoying the music. Like,
and I respect that. I respect that. But me personally, that shit got to be good, dog. I'm sorry, that got to be good.
It can't just be an album everybody played. It has to be good. To me, it has to be good. It can't just be an album that everybody played. It can't be because it had all these records on the radio. It has to be something that was good, something that stands the test of times. That's for me what it has to be. Standing the test of times is the most important concept. Being able to listen to an album now that came out in 2000, that's number one. That it has to be able. I have to be able to listen to it now. In the moment, a lot of things people like. In the moment, people didn't know yet. Condoms presented you getting from STDs. It's a matter of now. Time is just it's you have to understand things evolve in time. At the moment, a lot of things you did in the moment. That was nice in the moment. I did that in the moment. That was cool. And then it comes back to bite you a few years later. It's not like it's got to be able to stand the test of times to me. Got to be able to be if it goes back from 2000, I got to be able to, like We in the Streets back in 1999. I'm sure niggas was doing backflips over them Swiss Beats production. Listen to it now. I'm telling you right now, you're gonna have a different opinion.
We are the streets.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think you're gonna still respect the Swiss Beats. I got a question though. Is Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood classic?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I think that Dark and Hell is Hot is the one, but yeah.
You nigga had two classics in 1 year.
Yeah, I think so.
And then there was X was hard as shit too, yo. Then there was X was hard as shit. His first three albums, bro. His first three was fire.
The drop off from Flesh of My Flesh, Dark as Hell is Hot to Then It Was X is very dramatic. It's dramatic. There's a dramatic drop off from those first two albums to that Then It Was X. But yeah,
no, it ain't that dramatic, Stan. It ain't that dramatic.
It's the drops. That's a decent drop.
It's a drop off. It's definitely a drop off in quality. Yeah, it's definitely a drop off in quality. And again, it has a lot of that Swiss Beats and nonsense on it. It is.
Yo don't like Swiss.
I don't like Swiss Beats. You notice that?
A lot of his beats don't age well. I do agree with him. A lot of his beats don't age well. That's actually a slight problem with Flesh of My Flesh is that Swiss Beats is some of them beats on there don't age that well. Like Dark and Hell is Hot, I feel like it's just on. But like, he does do a little bit of that on Flesh of My Flesh. Flesh of My Flesh is still a classic though.
Does one more? I got one more for y'all. One more.
uh,
Does Beanie Siegel have more than one classic?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think he has a classic at
I'll
all.
give you the reason. I'll give you the reason.
You think I don't know. Like I think he has my
I
personal
think the
opinion.
truth. I think the truth is a classic. The first one, the truth.
I don't
No.
think so. I don't
No.
think so.
Not
I
good
don't
enough.
think so. I think like me personally, I think The Becoming is a phenomenal album, even though I probably couldn't stamp it as a classic, but I think I think that's his best album. The Becoming is amazing to me.
Better than the truth.
I think it
Yep.
is. Yes.
Yep.
Feel in the air. I can't go on this way. How that joint starts off and
Die. How all the ways he could die was on that album. He had the back and forth with Jay-Z.
yeah,
Raw and
once again,
Uncut for all you gangsters and hoes. And the
Mhm.
first time you sniff it, it might hurt your nose. That's on the truth, yo.
Mhm.
Rookie niggas, clipping niggas like L. Odom. What we talking about? That I ain't gonna lie. That first, I think the first album is his best shit.
It's a good album. That's it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think. So I think it's good.
It's a good album. That's about it, though.
But like, you know, kind of going back to the beginning of this, like All Eyes on Me, like we know it's a classic, right? Like Stan, like would you say All Eyes on Me is not a classic?
Not for me. Not for me. But I can see why people would say that. I wouldn't disagree with anybody to say it. I'm just saying not for me.
Okay. Is Taylor Swift 1989? Is that
Yo,
a
leave him
classic?
alone. Leave him alone, Reggie. See, you trying to start shit, bro. Leave my man Stan alone. You trying to get under his skin, dog.
I mean, if for like 13-year-old white girls, I'm sure it is a classic album.
Yeah,
bro.
Nah.
Hey, yo, I ain't 13 years old or white girls. You
Well,
better
I don't
leave me
know.
alone,
It doesn't appeal to me. I'm sorry, bro.
it's a classic album though.
All that train bra music don't really appeal to me.
Oh man,
Don't call it training bra music.
it's
It
a
doesn't appeal
classic
to me.
without question.
It doesn't do it.
And I don't think it's her best album, but it's a classic, Stan. Like that album is when she transcended from. She was already making the transition from like country to pop, but that was the one where she went all the way in. So, without question, it's a classic. It's a classic album, no doubt. That's a classic.
I'll take your word for it, dude.
Yo, Reggie, leave Stan alone, dog. Bro, he trying to rage bait you, Stan. That's what it is, dog.
There's nothing to rage, baby. It's not like there's I'm very consistent with how I feel about Taylor Swift. So. And pop music in general, I'm very consistent with that.
Usher Confessions, classic,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Okay.
Classic.
Okay. Let's see. I think Linkin Park, their first two albums are classics, and not only are they great albums, but the impact of those albums, like those were the albums that brought like a lot of like black kids into rock music. Like there's no doubt about it. Those are classic albums. Like that. Their second album, Meteor, was actually the first rock album I actually played. It was one of them albums that I was kind of bumping when nobody knew. You know, I kind of had that in the tuck in the book bag, but Meteor is without question a classic. Those are impact, and then they did the shit with Jay-Z when Meteor came out. Like those are classics. Both of them albums are classic albums that changed music. Like I think the impact of those albums still felt today. The more you see like black kids into like alternative music, that started there. So yeah.
Yo, Reggie, when you say right, there's levels to the classic, right?
Yep.
I feel like if they all at the table, I'm me personally, I think if you ask me one album I think is the greatest, I'm gonna say Illmatic. That's the one album. If I'm about to go and I got one album to listen to, I'm gonna listen to Illmatic.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think it's the greatest, in my opinion. Now I'm not saying levels is levels above, but I think it's the greatest rap album, I should say. I'm sorry. It's the greatest rap album of all time. I think Miseducation and Lauryn Hill is the greatest album, but Nas is the greatest rap album. What you think is the greatest rap album? Greatest classic?
Yeah, probably Illmatic. Yeah, I would say Illmatic.
Illmatic. Stan, what you think?
Life After Death. It's not Illmatic.
Life After Death. You think that's
Yep.
better than Ready to Die?
Yep,
Yeah, it's better than Ready to Die.
it is. Better
I
production.
think Ready to Die is
better.
more cohesive, but Life After Death.
Life After Death is a more cohesive album with different flows and different
Yeah.
song
Styles.
It is the styles again.
Yeah.
The shit that he did on that album has not been matched to this day. The flows and the styles that he did on that album hasn't been matched. He went to a different place with that album, and again touched on different styles of rap, different styles and different songs and different flows. His flows on that album are just unmatched. But as far as Illmatic, I could see why, because of lyrically what it is, and when it came again, it changed the culture when it came out, because like now you had somebody rapping hard to hard beats. I mean, hard, none of that just hard lyrical just lyrical masterpiece. Yeah, I could see that. But for me, it's Life After Death, the essential rap album.
That's fair.
My bro said, "What about Flesh of My Flesh and Blood of My Blood?" Said we already talked about that one, dog.
Yeah, we said that's a classic.
It's a classic, dog. But yeah, Illmatic and Life. I'm gonna have to listen to Life After Death again. Let me see how it aged.
It's still
Because I always thought Ready to Die was better.
It's still great. It's just like I don't agree that there's no skips. I skipped some songs off Life After Death. I skipped some songs.
What, the interludes? Was the interludes? The play haters interludes.
It's like 4 minutes. That's not an interlude. That's a song at that point. That's not an interlude. I don't like
That's
that
what
song.
I'm saying,
That's an example of something that ages differently for me. Because like I hated it back in the day. I listen to it now, it's hilarious. Niggas singing off key and shit, and it's hilarious. The Too Short song is okay, but it's still
like that one either.
It's fine.
Nasty Boy, I don't like that one either.
Nasty Boy is a great song compared today to the shit that comes out now.
A great song, man. Hell no.
Yo, it's a lot. Yo, hold up. I was listening to BG album. I'm sorry, y'all.
What the?
Checkmate. I was listening. Listen, I wasn't in control of the radio. You feel me?
Nigga
And it
brought
was
up
Checkmate,
BG and
and he
in the
was-
back of a little
Listen.
Life After Death.
Listen.
Nigga brought up BG and Notorious B.I.G.
But you
in the
said
same
you compared to what comes out today. Yo, I was listening to BG, yo. Checkmate. And BG is better than all these young dudes, yo. Just because it's better than what comes out today, Stan, you can't
That's
use
not
that
saying much.
argument. Because I was listening to
saying much.
BG, and BG was like, it's so much better than these young dudes, bro. And that's BG. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to BG because I respect him. But that nigga was never known as like one of the best artists. Like BG compared to these niggas today, bro. He would smoke these niggas in his prime. Like a nigga like Havoc is better than all of these niggas today, Stan. You can't even do that, yo.
Okay, all right. Let's. I'm gonna cut this short because I don't want to go down that road. Let's put a bow on this by just talking about who would have the most in hip hop. Like who's got the most classics? I'm thinking it's probably
Jay-Z.
I'm thinking Kanye.
I think it's Nas.
The most classic. Like if you think, because like College Dropout is a classic. Late Registration.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
College Dropout, Late Registration. Even though I'm not a biggest fan of it, we cannot deny the impact of 808 and Heartbreak. It has to be a classic. That album changed the way music started being made, bro. Y'all keep nodding, putting y'all heads down. I'm not saying I like the album, but
Okay. We counted it. That's 3. We counted it. That's 3.
And then
I'm not counting it.
And then Twisted Fantasy. That's 4.
Okay. Now can I go Nas now?
Go ahead.
You got Illmatic, you got Stillmatic, you got Lost Tapes, you got It Was Written, and you got Magic, and you got King's Disease 1.
None of those albums are classic albums.
So see, it's crazy, bro. An hour to 20 minutes, we still talking past each other. Are we? Do you think those albums are classic albums? They're great albums.
They're not. Not even close.
Lost Tapes isn't a classic. Stillmatic isn't a classic.
It's a classic to me. I think it's a masterpiece. It's my favorite album, but I'm not sure if if the culture stamped that as a classic or not.
No, we're not talking about. See, if we're going by with the culture stamp, then it's a lot of stuff that won't be classic. You know what I mean? Like I'm going by the quality of music. Like I think Jay-Z and Nas got the most classics. When you talk the quality of music, Jay-Z and Nas got the most classics. It's going to be one of those two, bro. No disrespect to Tupac and Big because they no longer here.
Yeah.
But Jay-Z or Nas is going to have the most classics, bro. They both got like 5 or 6 apiece, bro. I think it was written Illmatic, Stillmatic, Lost Tapes, Magic. That's 5 right there. And that might be his only 5 if y'all don't want to count King's Disease. King's Disease shit.
I would say King's Disease 3 would have to be in there.
I like King's Disease. I like King's Disease 1 more than King's Disease 3. So I would put King's Disease 1 above 3. But that's it right there.
You might want to revisit that one, dog. We might need to revisit that one.
We might have to revisit that. Yeah. That's a conversation, yo.
Yeah. Stan, what's Jay-Z's classics?
Reasonable Doubt, Black Album, Blueprint, American Gangster. Maybe Watch the Throne. But that's again joint album with him and Kanye. So that kind of counts on both Kanye and Jay's ledger.
I ain't even kept that on Kanye's list. I forgot about that.
Hold up, yo. You don't think In My Lifetime is classic?
Volume 1?
No.
Yo, that shit is better than that shit is better than the Black Album, bro. Yo, that's the album. Hold on. That's the album where You Belong to the City. That's that album. Yo, that's Imaginary Player on that album, bro. What are we talking about?
Lucky Me. There's also another 18 songs on that album too. So
a million. How many questions do you have?
It's a dope album. It's a dope album.
Don't get me wrong. It's a really good album, but doesn't meet the classic criteria for me. He's got classic songs on it, no doubt, but not a classic album. But yeah, it's Reasonable Doubt. It's Blueprint, Black Album, American Gangster.
I actually think that the
ain't Who You With on that album? Who You With?
Yeah, that's on volume 1.
All right, bro. I'm all right.
I actually think that the Black Album actually could have been a more concrete classic had he actually stayed retired for a little while. Like, because that album has an amazing feel of just like that farewell to the game. It has like some of the production choices that he chose in that album just felt like it was his last album. And so for him to just come right back in a year, it kind of diluted it to me.
It does tarnish the legacy of the album. It tarnishes
the album, bro. It does. As dope as it is, it does.
It does tarnish the album a little bit, but when I judge it based on the quality of music, it's still phenomenal.
It is.
It's still phenomenal based on the quality of music, but I understand that part. Like it does get tarnished by the fact nigga dropped the album like 2 years after that. You know,
and he was back. He was rapping again in no time. You know, so
he never stopped rapping. He never stopped putting out.
It was like he didn't retire. It didn't feel.
He didn't retire. He just stopped making. He was just not making albums. But then he put it out. He had an album 3 years after Black Album. So
had the Black Album had the gap between what he's did from 444 till whatever he's about to do next. Had the gap been that long, the Black Album might be stamped as one of them ones for real.
But I agree with that.
Kendrick.
I just thought Sunshine on that album too, Raven.
Hey, you still talk about Volume 1, bro?
Like, because y'all disrespecting Volume 1, yo.
Volume 1 is a decent album. That's all it is. It's a decent album. It's a decent album.
Kendrick.
Yeah.
What about Kendrick? What are his classics?
He got two classics. Good Kid, Mad City, and To Pimp a Butterfly. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't see nothing else being classic.
I would agree with that. I will say that you could make a case the impact of Damn might go to the classic because again, I'm not saying it's a classic from the standpoint of musically, but I feel like the impact of that album could be definitely looked at as a classic to me.
I don't think it had the same. I think Good Kid, Mad City had a bigger impact than that.
It did. Good Kid, Mad City is solidified. Ain't nothing to talk about with that one. To Pimp a Butterfly, I don't think there's anything to talk about with that one either. Even though with To Pimp a Butterfly, I skip some songs off To Pimp a Butterfly. I don't listen to that. I don't think that's a straight through listen. But Impact is a classic without question. And that's a dope ass album too. With Damn, I feel like the impact of Damn, you could make a case that that's a classic album, bro. Impact. That's the album that won that Pulitzer Prize. I mean,
I thought it was To Pimp a Butterfly.
Nah, it was Damn. Damn was the one that won the Pulitzer Prize, bro. Whether I think it was deserving of that award or not, it won it. You know what I'm saying? And it was an impactful album. Big songs off of there. DNA, Humble, Love. Like these were big songs, right? So I think you can make a case that Damn is a classic. Stan, what do you say?
Pimp a Butterfly and Good Kid, Mad City are certified classics. Damn is just not. I could see why you make an argument for it, but it's not. It's just not good enough. But yeah, To Pimp a Butterfly and Good Kid, Mad City, absolutely, like stamp classics of this culture. Absolutely.
Yo, does J. Cole have a classic? We're not counting Fall Off. We're not going to count that outside of the Fall Off.
Doesn't qualify yet, but
Forest Hill Drive.
Forest Hill Drive, absolutely.
Forest Hill Drive.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
Forest Hill
fair.
Drive. Forest Hill Drive. I think I love For Your Eyes Only, but I don't know if people stamp that as a classic or not. So I would say Forest Hill for me. But I love For Your Eyes Only. I think For Your Eyes Only is amazing.
All right.
It's a lot of rappers, but they don't like that's nice, but you do gotta have a classic. And that's the one thing. Every time I bring up my man Kiss, everybody say he don't have a classic album, man.
He doesn't. It's too bad, man. He's made a lot of music.
And I can't argue.
No championships, man.
No rings, bro. You don't got no rings.
No rings.
Carmelo Anthony of his generation.
All right, I'm trying to think of anything else before we leave it there. I'm trying to think of anything else because I'm trying to touch on a lot of stuff because obviously we can't get to every album that could be considered a classic, guys. We can't. We can't get to every
different episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, anything else you guys want to mention before we get out of here?
No,
I feel like Stan. I just want to say this. I feel like Stan. You got to be nice and the music got to be good. However, when the culture, accepts something and they peg it as a classic, I won't argue that point. But me personally, bro, you got to be nice, man. That's how you make a classic.
Stan?
It's basically, like I said, it is your taste in music and what you like and what you bump, what resonates with you. Again, there's whatever the culture stamps and there's whatever you stamp. I pay attention to what I stamp. I don't give a fuck what the culture stamps.
No,
because like I just said, the culture has invited people. Like I said, the culture has invited some of the worst rappers ever into it. So what the masses say, I could give two shits about. What I say is what matters to me. That just what matters to me. What the masses think is what the masses think. But to me, certain albums qualify as a classic to me. That the culture might stamp as a classic and might say, "Oh, you gotta listen to it," and I listen to it and say it's not good. Personal opinion, bro. Like I said, it's no subjective one answer to what a classic album is. It really isn't. It's just what you think a classic album is. What is a classic to you? What will you play straight through? What do you want to bump straight through? What do you like? Mm-hmm. That's what it is. And again, I will continue to say we have to get back to individual thinking and not group think and not what the masses say. I don't care what the masses voted for Donald Trump. I don't give a fuck what the masses say. So it's a matter of what I like, what I think is a classic. I don't give a fuck what everyone else thinks. I think about what I like. The masses can like whatever. This is what I like. This is what I think is a classic. And I just think we got to get back to more individual thinking and more of that.
All right. I'll leave it with this. We spoke for a long time on here, and I think that in the end, we still have not come to a consensus on what a classic album is, and I think that's great. I think that that's just kind of what it is, man. Everyone can have their own opinion on what a classic album is. Everyone can have their opinion about which albums are classics. It's all good. It's all good as musical debate. I think this is a great conversation because what it really did for me is like I want to go back and listen to some of these albums. Some of these albums we mentioned I haven't listened to in a while, so I want to go back and listen to some of these. So I think it was a great conversation for that. I agree with you guys that it would be nice if the album was also good, but I think that you can't just push aside what's stamped as a classic, regardless of what you feel about what the culture has and hasn't done. When the culture stamps something a classic, they stamp it a classic, and I feel like you can't just ignore that. I feel like there's certain albums that I might not care for, but I recognize their impact. I recognize their influence. I think those albums should be respected just because they made the impact. They got people talking. They got people moving. So I think that has to be taken into account as well. But
Agreed.
great conversation, fellas. Till next time. Peace.
All right, man.